Going live now, so just to remind everyone here, this is Feila versus Envision on week 5 upward best of 3. With Feila in the blue right now, going to be attacking first with Envision on defense in the red. So let's see what their sort of setup is here. No, not seeing any crits though, no crit sticks right now, so pretty standard stuff. As Tertio will be bringing up Azuba. We're going to see if Rambo going for the passive sentry. I think previously on the in the UGC grand final I saw Clark with kind of the aggressive sentry, a bit more forced to deny the bombs, so they're probably going to be relying on Tuja to try and deny things. Not for any sentry though.
Obviously this is like still setup time and he's got a chance to move, but Duo seems to be holding in a bit of an unusual spot. And I know I've seen lots of soldiers hold in this sort of deck area where he's currently standing, and I quite like that spot because it really denies the sniper from peeking in onto your sentry gun a lot more. It's quite hard to get rid of a soldier there because you've got all the pillars and everything. You're only really vulnerable to the demo man. Very hard to get rid of a soldier there.
Bomb comes in now, we've got Joe going to be going behind, interestingly enough. Crane actually predicting that. Joe actually on the sticky jump are going to be going behind, possibly, well, going to be fighting the scout now, so be a bit distracted. He's going to be jumping back in, and dies from a crater from Crane's damage, so not really going well to start off with as they're 3 down.
Yeah, Kazrock went for an early peek there and denied by Duo, and Wiethoofd's able to hold very aggressive there, deny the card time from the scout. It looks like there's probably going to be another suicide wave coming out here as well.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised to see how slow Feila are here. Like, usually I'd expect them to be this aggressive on the first one. Wiethoofd's going in as well, Joe going in as well, with Newbie trying to bomb in. There's a lot of pressure on the top. Tertio actually managed to sort of hold that, and they lose a lot of people for it, and they only lose their NG, so no NG to try and keep this up, the sentry up, and the sentry just go down. And there's no tail either, so they need to be actually careful staying in there for too long.
They've still got the overcharge, and Wiethoofd seems to be doing quite a good job of staying healthy and keeping spam going out. Duo's still in position. No one's really peeking the sniper. They should be able to still hold on here. The Uber comes out early from blue as well.
Yeah, early use, and Duo manages to get Kazrock, so this isn't actually as good as Feila probably wanted. Wiethoofd's doing a good job of actually airblasting them off, and manages to get a massive airblast onto Dito, actually forcing the demo over the edge of the map, and but Tertio does manage to get away with his life. Joe getting cleavered by Crane as they try to retreat onto this hill area, but yeah, Layla actually going down in the middle of that, so Uber had 4 Tertio.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest Uber on Feila's behalf, but they're able to get some picks, and so, Envision are just wanting to back off, make sure that they've got that second hold set up. They don't want to risk that for like a potential 30 seconds on, first.
Oh, Newbie manages to get 2 rockets into the sentry though, so there's going to be no level 2. Newbie actually managed to bomb in here with no sentry, gets a piece of damage onto the demo. With Tuja trying to deny in middle, going to be trying to peek sights on all, but to no avail as Crane is going to be pressuring Joe pretty hard as they're trying to make their way up the hill. Trying to push him behind, Mezzo is, but again, they're just going to end up with 3 down.
Dito's just got blasted completely away by Joe's stickies, and now they've got a demo up on Feila's side. They've got complete control of the upper area, but Tuja seems to still be lurking in tunnel, and they're probably going to cause some problems on the tracks. The middle's able to the scout is able to clear them up as well.
Not really sure what Tuja was doing there. I feel like if they kind of clumped, they would have been able to hold on a bit better, but Newbie managed to get in, just going to kind of a semi-force into Tertio as the Uber comes in anyway. This is looking really bad though for Envision right now. There's actually no positioning here for them, as Newbie managed to even go all the way to the full health pack on 3rd. And they're going to be waiting for their spawners, but they're still worried about Newbie being around here.
Yeah, using an Uber charge to get out of spawn and back off isn't the most fun thing to be doing. It looks like they're even losing the 3rd hold here. Joe is just destroying the sentry gun. Doesn't seem to be, not sure if there's clear comms on Envision's side there with the sentry gun going down so early. Wiethoofd and Krayla managing to pick up Joe though, so that'll maybe give them a chance at holding on to 3rd.
Yeah, Joe might be being a bit overzealous there. I think he needs to live rather than peek that, because they haven't moved the car. Maybe going for a big bomb. Just managed to come in with the help of Mezzo getting 2 down, actually, with the Stinkhand going down, so no sniper to defend here. And Tertio's left to fight Mezzo alone. Mezzo actually trying to back out there, but this is actually a complete travesty of a 3rd hole for Envision right now. Like you said, I think their comms are kind of a bit cluttered.
Yeah, it was a massive play from Nubby as well, managing to keep it into that hole, because that sniper would have been enough to maybe, make things a bit more even. But yeah, that was just like nail in the coffin for Envision.
This is going to be really bad as well, because that means they've got literally no time from that defense on the third, and they're going to be using in now. It's going to be holding W with V-clocks as to trying to run for his life. Will he go down? He does eventually go down with the help of Meza. So no med right now. Stinger gets a nice snipe onto the middle, so no heavy for Feila right now. But the car is still being pushed in, so we'll have to see if they try and move this in more.
Yeah, it was a bit of a it was a bit early to be pushing there, but they did have the Uber advantage and they're able to get the medic, so it's still really worthwhile to take this upper area, from the red team, because that's a very if they manage to let the Ubers even out, it would maybe be hard. But Stinger manages to get Layla there, which maybe gives Tertio some Uber. I don't know if he'll get it on time though.
Yeah, Stinger's been doing a decent job of slowing people in, but the car is so far forward now. No one's stopping this scout. Couldn't stop the car. B-Clock's trying to get on it now, but with the help of Detoad and Dwo spamming, it's going to be pushed off. But they need to kind of consolidate a last hold here because they seem to be really struggling at the moment.
Yeah, Metzo was able to get a backstab onto Tuya there, which was very that made things look very promising for Feila. Tuya back in the same spot, very aggressive for denying the car.
Meza manages to get Stinghand though. They're going to be pushing this car right now. Middle's kind of stuck under though, getting spammed out. But there's only 3 up right now for Envision. This should be pretty much an easy cap, so it's probably like a 6-minute time, like we said before. Nice time for Nightmare. They're going to deny the car slightly. Draw jumps on it as well, but now actually 5 minutes is going to be the fast time there. So yeah, a lot of pressure on Envision. I mean, what did you think Envision did wrong there when they were backing out second?
Well, it's the thing that I said at the start is that Feila are very good at pressing any advantages they've got. I don't really think that Envision were really ever able to get on their feet after that first hold collapse. There wasn't really a hold after that. Everything just sort of fell apart slowly and it sort of crumbled. There wasn't any sort of cohesion past that first hold. Yeah, you could sort of see as the holds progressed, it just got worse and worse. Like they almost had the second hold, but not quite. Then the third hold, not really. There wasn't really anything. Fourth hold, there wasn't really anything. Feila were just every advantage to kept pressing it. Sounds to me like they just needed to back out a little bit more in second, really stabilize, maybe even give up some of second to a passive hold so that they're not bleeding. You have to respect Feila's aggression, or this sort of stuff happens.
Yeah, it was a mixture of like not respecting the aggression and also like not respecting their own lives. Like they didn't value their lives on defense, kind of forgetting that they have like a 10-second longer score on average. So they didn't manage to back out into third in time, and it kind of just catapulted into what happened really with a 5-minute time. But it's going to be Envision on the aggression now. But an interesting central position here coming out from Rambasaur actually on top of Playground on the right side. I think we are actually going into a pause.
Yeah, that sentry gun placement is very interesting because you see that the heavies actually, usually you'd have your heavy standing where that sentry gun is, but instead Middle's choosing to stand much more aggressive, which really favours Joe's play style as well. I quite like that because a lot of the reason that you don't have your heavy standing there is because you need something to deny playground for your sniper. And instead, yeah, I quite like that.
Yeah, so like an increasing number of teams actually have like pretty much their entire combo to stand on the staircase with the heavy here. Not many teams actually do what Stinghand's doing here, where you stand in the spawn and then watch people peeking it, because that's probably the easiest way of killing people on it, and it's why like teams didn't really start doing it. But if you can actually make it work, and like Stinghand misses a few shots, they can actually put out a lot of pressure from that area. But yeah, it's kind of interesting sentry position here. I think it's mainly just deny, like you said, the playground bombs, and Rambo sitting in the corner with his back against the wall, pretty safe. But Mezzo going to be trying to calm as much as he can as the people on the cart. Got 3 people in a line, nicely lined up on the cart, pushing that. But let's see if Newbie is going to be going for any sort of bombs here.
Yeah, it does look like Newbie's like ready to bomb in. I'm not sure if he's just trying to kill the scout in front of him or whether he's wanting to go for something. But yeah, Newbie is very aggressive. He could die to Stingham. Stingham's almost looking right at him.
Yeah, it's the one kind of risk really of like going in that area if the sniper's in the right position, because if the sniper's there, he's actually got a decent sight line onto it, and the spy can't really do anything, and you can just kind of hug the wall and avoid all the damage if you need to, because the sniper like rarely peeks that stairs. So, but I mean, the disadvantage is he's not really sort of taking the SVS with Kazarok, and Kazarok's like the main sort of denier of space really for the rest of the team. But
I have noticed a lot of snipers have stopped taking those sniper versus snipers on defense for that reason, because the amount of pressure that the sniper can put out onto the medic, just the fact that the sniper's alive, can make the medic pop early. A lot of snipers just don't end up peeking that sort of main area. So maybe Stingin's cottoned onto that and thought, well, there's no point in me to going for sniper versus sniper in that main door, and he would instead go for picks on the soldier. And we've got the unpause coming in now as well.
Yeah, that's a good point to be fair. But yeah, gonna be imposing. Just trying to push up this card as much as possible. Kaz getting a few picks, I think, is gonna be sort of sitting in this one area. Manages to get Duo, so no soldier bombing right there as 2G going down as well. But yeah, a lot of pressure coming up, but as you said, like Nubi going down to Stinghand eventually there. Peeking that sort of top stair area. But a sentry actually has been moved, I can't see it. Okay, Rambo's got it in like the rock spot behind on right, so let's see if they're kind of caught onto that.
I have seen that as a jumper denial spot, you know, similar to what you have in the Badwater forward sentry spot for denying jumpers. But usually it's moved. I'm interested to see whether Nightmares are going to be able to go for any plays here on Rambosaur, because he's looking like he's wanting to go for one, but he gets cut out. The Ubers are traded as well.
Yeah, there's like no pressure on this sentry though, so they're going to defend this pretty well. Like, Dito's struggling to get any pressure down. Doesn't manage to actually get some decent shots, kills the scout. Nightmare actually managed to get the sniper as well, so it's going to be 4 down, including the med, which I actually missed. So, no heals right now for Feila, as 2G's going to be walking in here, just mowing everyone down with his Thomas Lab build, tries to get a bit of a hideout, but yeah, Rambo going to be using the good old space wrench to get back to spawn. That's 3 up right now for Feila. Yeah,
just another example of the early Uber trade on Upward. It's really effective, even if it's not the best setup. It's you can often get the point because people just don't want to give up that space. But it looks to me like Feila is much more in position. They've got the sniper up top, you know, winning that sniper v sniper now as well. So that's going to be really difficult for Envision to push any aggression here.
Yeah,
Conch as well.
They get cleaned up on the hill pretty easily, but yeah, with losing Stinghand there wasn't that great, because Kaz was just able to sit on the balcony and shoot everyone that peeked the rock, but they managed to get some pressure in the tunnel as well. 2G managed to pick up the movie, so that's going to be decent for them pressuring his car. Joe actually goes down. So
yeah, Joe went down to the scout there, which he goes very aggressive at times, and sometimes I think he maybe goes a little bit too aggressive because the reward is so high as well. But he got picked off by the scout, and that'll maybe give Envision a chance.
Trying to pressure the car as much as they can. Like, Kaz are actually interestingly peeking down the tunnel sight line, but the Uber comes in from side. Joe managed to get Dito, going to be pressuring 2G, I guess 2G as well. But Rez is going to be walking into Joe. Goes down really weak, does manage to get that. Rez surprisingly somehow still alive, I think. Yeah, just going to be fine inside tunnel as much as possible, but yeah, unfortunately the med's stay alive. So I think that will actually be Tertio ad, possibly.
Yes.
Oh wait, no, the thing to pause was for Tertia, because it's on 1 point now.
Yeah, there's very slight ad for Layla. The combo did go down there for Feila, but I think everyone's still respawning for Envision, so it was very difficult. Meso's obviously doing a good job of stopping the teleporters from going up, because they're taking a very long time to get back into position. Although Singing getting the pick onto Joe is very big right at this sort of moment as well.
Duo is going to be doing a massive bombing as well. Level 3 still up for Rambo. Stinghand actually going off right now. I guess that's his 3rd kill, I think. Managing to pick off the scout. So there's plenty to trust in this sniper. Going to be sort of holding in house right now with Uber. They might want to push out on this. The Conch comes out from Newbie. Have to see if this comes in. High bomb comes in from Duo in return though onto Kazarok. So we'll pick off the sniper there. Who comes out in return again from 2G. Middle's in behind though. No one's actually sitting this heavy behind. Let's see if he picks off Tertia. He can peek this. 2G sees him. He's kind of really weak and they're trying to push the car, but yeah, does actually get picked off, so that was a really well played by Envision there to actually kind of kite that.
Very messy play for Envision right now. There was a lot of things going wrong there, like the demo man getting dropped in the Uber. It didn't seem like people were very sure what was going to be happening if Feila decided to go back in without overcharge.
Yeah, and it was kind of a risky play, but I mean, it kind of just ended up working out for them in the end. Dito managing to get a decent play onto Hook as they try and sort of, well, actually they lose their sniper here, so this might actually be kind of bad for Feila since the sniper disad. Aggressive sentry from Rambo, just managed to pull it out. If they bomb in now as well, there's no sentry to deny, so they need to be careful kind of doing that. But yeah, some decent sort of aggression coming out from Dito.
Yeah, it's hard for me to tell really what the time is at because of the pause that happened.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not really sure whether there's enough time for Envision here, but they seem to be really set on pushing aggressively. So they must know that they have got time to spare.
Oh yeah, they definitely have, yeah, because Kaz is on Hunts when he just fed, so yeah, I'm
Oh,
assuming
right, okay, yeah.
the aggressive sentry.
You've got to feel bad for Stingin though, because he really opened up that second point, and that could have been the comeback. But then there was that whole mess.
Just, like, yeah, it's just the fact that they didn't really have much of a hold, like on third or like seconds, so then just kind of wasting away the times, and it's a shame really, because like you end up with like these situations where you get some decent pushes into second and like momentum into third, and then it kind of just doesn't really manage to go anywhere. But yeah, first half will be on the side of Feila for now.
Yeah, I think that'll give Envision a lot to talk about, at least. Maybe they'll have like a team talk, get everything together, and they'll work out what to do on defense, because their attack, whilst it wasn't the best attack, it wasn't quite Feila's standards. They were definitely making progress. Maybe they'll be able to get their defense a little bit better, give Feila a little bit of a closer game next round.
Yeah, like their second was decent. It only took them like 2 attempts really to get in for second, and they managed to kind of keep their mid alive. Like Tertia managed to live there for quite a while. So if they kind of just work on that and take that going forwards, and like just help out Dito when he's trying to push her in, like pressure in quite aggressively early on, like keeping the momentum going, then I think they'll probably make some unexpected plays against Feila. But I mean, at the moment, yeah, as you said, like Joe doing really well at the top of the scoreboard, and Stinghand actually sort of popping off as well. So I think if they play around Stinghand, because I think he's, I think if he's protected, he's able to do pretty well. So they just need to play off that sort of sniper picks that he gets onto a few people.
Yeah, what you need to be protected though is to have a really cohesive combo, and that's where I think Envision's lacking. But
yeah. There was some questionable like positioning from like Tuja, and like I think Reza sometimes having to help out with the sentry, so they weren't always together, and it was literally just Detoed, and sometimes it just get rushed or stabbed or something. So it's maybe something for them to work on. But I think they'll go into the next round. Oh no,
not.
Debated once again. Wouldn't be Highlander without that, and we lose someone. Middles and Spec should be joining back unless he's gone to the toilet or something. But yeah, I have to play off Stingham more and maybe have more aggression onto Layla. But I guess we can possibly look at the locks. I'm hearing. Get this link going.
The logs do tell like a story. Like you can see that Middle's not dying and doing a lot of kills. That's just the sign of a combo that's not being pressured.
Yeah, 5 deaths, Jesus, okay.
And that's carried over. I mean, Tertio's doing a very good job of staying alive, considering.
Yeah, he's been valuing his life more than the rest of his team, I think, which is, well, I mean, obviously you do that as a medic anyway, but, like, he's kind of just, he knows that the Ubers are going to be the key thing, really, for his team, so he kind of just works off that, really. But I think the pick classes for Envision kind of need to step up, possibly, like, they need to kind of just time it better, and get some more picks when they can, like when the people are separated out, and they'll possibly do a bit better and help out that combo more in return.
Yeah, it's very unusual to see a medic get less Ubers and more deaths and be on the winning team. Like it's 2 less Ubers. That's a lot. You know, like that's.
Yeah, in like in 15 minutes. Yeah, that's true. Actually, that's make a good point. Like, I think really that's a testament as to how aggressive Feila are. Like they don't even, like they literally just bring the heals in. Doesn't really matter how far forward Layla is, and they just play off that, and it just works out really well for them because they just trust Joe and his calls, and then Newbie bombs in behind, and nobody focuses middle and that sort of thing when they're all buffed. So yeah, it just ends up being a pretty decent aggression.
It could be a sign of the fact that maybe Tertio's not playing with his combo as much, so he's not dying with the combo. I don't know. Obviously, you possibly have to bait the combo to some extent, but maybe it's too much. Hard to say, really.
Sometimes it can end up being like that. Like, I mean, possibly like baiting. Like, I mean, there might be like one person baiting. It might not specifically be him. But if the call is to like either get out or go in, and someone's not really following that, it ends up with like people just being disconnected, and then you're fighting like effectively a 5v3 or something in the combo.
Yeah.
It never ends well, really.
Yeah, well, we'll see what sort of time the Envision are able to set then, because I reckon it'll maybe be like an 8-minute time.
Yeah, I don't know whether you actually saw that casual spot as well. He was just sitting on like the wooden plank thing where he used to get Stinghand in main. So that was a pretty well played by him, and that's sort of cheeky spot. But yeah, the initial bombs come in. Not much going on with both Duo and Vito going down. I'm trying to look at this. Sentry's in kind of an aggressive trap spot here, so
yeah, Dwell nearly managed to pick off Kazarok, but he managed to get off. It was just on a very small amount of health, which was he saw that the center position and the heavy position, and he was able to capitalize, but almost.
Layla dies? Oh, okay, I guess that point Nightmare. So yeah, it's gonna be a massive ad for Tertia. They just need to make sure they can get in here.
Yeah, this is where like Envision has their chance to shine. There needs to be super aggression here. Tertia needs to be out. They need to be making all of this. Like they've got so much space right now. They need to make the most of this opportunity. But
Kaza is. Oh, Kaza's in. No, Kaza's in the tunnel spot looking for a drop, I think. But I mean, knowing Tertia is going to use early, yeah, he does. So he's going to use it early. He could try and get this picks going. Kaza manages to back off. Mezzo gets 2 Joe, which is a pretty decent pick, but they're aggressive on the hill. Not really many people here. So Kaza might lose his life.
Detoad knows that this is his aggression, time for aggression. He manages to get the pick onto Navi. He was looking for the sniper as well, but didn't get it. Stingen's looking to peek onto the hill as well.
Yeah, we've got Joe in middle, so just trying to hold the hill alone here. Joe managed to get picked off those things. Having a really good time right now. As Dwell comes in for a large high bomb, gets 1 rocket down. Viethoofd reflects the second one, so pretty well played by Viethoofd there. But Dito managed to get the sentry, and this is not really an existent second hold for Feila. They might go and push out here. I don't know whether Newbie's got a contra or anything, but yeah, got some decent aggression coming in from Envision.
Detoad really did a good job there. He needs more support. If he's got his support now, but earlier on, if he had more support, it could have been really bad for Feila. Yeah, I have to say that was all Stingen and Detoad.
I mean, they've got a pretty fast time right now. This is really impressive. 2 minutes for the first 2 points, like, a minute a point. That's like pretty huge. Crown getting picked up on the cart, I think. So we'll slow down that cart pressure, but keep trying to walk in here, trying to see the Ubers. Layla is coming up to Uber now. I'm assuming Tertia has it as well. Yes, he does. So he's trying to play around Stingham on the tracks now, kind of just trusting in their sniper. Guys are trying to peek aggressively. Stingham winning that sniper. Stingham actually going huge right now.
Yeah, that sniper pick's very big on upward third. This is the push I feared, and it looks like Envision are really managing to do it quite well. Ubers are traded, and it actually does look like it's going more in favour of Envision now. If Joe's able to, yeah, this medic drop kills coming out. You know.
I'm pretty sure where that came from. Actually, I think it might have been sort of heavy
Duo
coming out though.
Duo just managed to get Layla, the demo man, and the pyro. That was medic, demo, pyro all at once. That was huge. I was thinking, maybe they'll be able to stabilize, come back in. Very vulnerable to the demo man in the position that Envision are currently in, but yeah, Duo just managed to just go huge there.
Oh, I'm so sad I missed that because I just saw 3 kills in the kill feed. It's like, where the hell did Duo come from? But yeah, gonna be capping this out. This is like huge from Vision. I mean, that's what 3 minutes, 3 minutes 20. So I mean, unless they have like a quite a few minutes last hold, like Vision have got quite a lot of pressure right now, and Tertia is on 40% for his Uber, so we're trying to build that up slowly.
And maybe I underestimated Envision, but I guess we'll see. This last hold can be brutal.
Yeah, if you manage to hold up the upper, like the high ground, like with the sniper, like they are doing, and they manage to get the sentry there, it can be quite good. They're going forward with the contra. The whole team is surging forward through him, but they're taking the damage from Dito. This is why you don't sometimes clump up, because if the demo is watching, it can sometimes be very difficult. And Resident Beast trying to. Oh my god, they're actually 4 up right now.
Yeah, that could have been a very big throw.
Layla goes down as well. Like, I'm not sure why they decided to do that. Like, that only worked if the demo and the heavy aren't watching that, but they all went through the doorway at the exact same time and got absolutely mulched. Newbie with a huge bomb in though, managed to get the force onto Tertia. So it might actually affect them pretty harshly, but the cart is almost capped in. You're getting so much pressure on this cart, no one's denying it, and they managed to push it in 4 minutes. Like, I have no idea what Feila were doing there. Like, literally no one managed to jump down to the cart. Like, I don't know whether this is just comms, or like, overconfidence maybe? Like, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Feila quite feel the same pressure that Envision do right now. Because obviously I don't think they've got very much riding on this game. So I think that was like maybe a little bit of a jokey play they were going for at last, I'm not sure. Because I wouldn't see Feila, I know Feila are like known for being very aggressive, perhaps questioningly so, but that was a bit too much, I would have said, and Detoad capitalised on it very well.
To be fair, you might actually be right, saying like, because this is week 5 and they're already like top, and they might not like care about it as much. Maybe that's why they sometimes want to just try for these plays and see how it goes and experiment a bit. But either way, it'll still look a bit bad for them. I mean, knowing that Envision can kind of just get away with this sort of thing, especially with Stingham going off like he has been, and yeah, like Dito put out as much pressure as well. But let's see if it kind of echoes into this round again with.
I think that Feila can beat this time. Feila is a team that can beat this time.
Yeah, they're capable.
Yeah.
But it's whether the execution comes out correctly, really.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see.
I'm expecting like a sort of a force play first, though. Let's see what Jojen's playing again. I think he's on sticky one. Should have given it. They have crits actually. They are.
Yeah, it's an Uber. Oh, Layla gets knocked completely away by a sticky trap right off the cliff, all the way across the map there.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, there was a sticky trap on the far right, and Layla just goes straight off the cliff.
Jesus. Okay, that's gonna be really bad for Feila then.
Yeah, that's a shame.
It's gonna be, I mean, because I've only got 4 minutes. Like, there's so much pressure on Feila right now. It's like
they get the Uber traders off, so you know it's not that bad. That's all you really want in that position.
Yeah, I suppose it's just both. True.
Yeah, there's a lot of positioning that Feila have got right now that this is what you need.
Yeah, Stinkhand trying to do his best on this top. He's a nice pick off Joe. There's no devo for this offense right now. Mini's pressuring Rambo, trying to pressure the playground as Newbie trying to go for a bomb in onto the playground as well, but TJ could be getting some decent heals here as the car is pressured.
As long as Kazrock's in that position, this push can still happen for Feila. Kazrock is so aggressive right now.
Yeah, he's just being sat in the middle, just trying to pressure them as much as possible. Two just taking a lot of damage. They're going to take spam. They're going to use the Uber out here, but I mean the returning Uber might come out. Yeah, it does come out from Layla, but they're going to be trying to run away with this. They might. I think most of the team.
Joe's bombing as well. Joe's going for the big bomb.
Oh god!
Yeah, my god, that was huge.
Oh, he goes into the Joe zone. He gets it, and they're on hill now. We're losing so many players. Tuja just trying to go aggressive here. Might try and go for the mid. Does.
Oh my
he gets
god!
The mid. Tuja with the Tomislav corner plays. To be fair, Middles probably should have got that, but yeah, it's pretty well played by him to get that. And it might actually delay that push, but I'm expecting the aggression to come out either way.
Yeah, the Feila is a team that knows what to do, even if Joe's not with them. They're all over this point. Now they're going for the high bomb already. They're controlling this. They don't need their down man to stop them from getting a second hold.
Yeah, I think they're doing a smart thing here. That they're making sure that the third hold is completely set up, and they've only got 2 minutes, so you know they don't want to throw this. They want to make sure they can just get this round pretty easily. Dito is going to be sort of setting some sticky traps with Stinkhand in the balcony position. Does manage to get the sniper as well, but does go down for his troubles as Joe manages to smell him out. So no snipers on either team right now.
Yeah, that simplifies it for Feila. That makes it easier, I think, to push this point.
Yeah, definitely. Trying to pressure the car as much as possible as well. Some decent smoke coming out from Dito. Newbie comes in with the bomb, manages to push out Tuja, but yeah, it's going to be waiting on these Ubers really, let's see what happens.
Yeah, I missed it, but middle went down there, I think to Pyro, I'm not sure, it fell off the cliff. So yeah, a lot of the Ubers coming out, and they're taking a lot of space. But there's full Uber for Envision as well.
Yeah, Tertiary didn't even have to use that. That was a bit of a strange Uber. I think they were trying to like flank in around Banana, like some people call it, or the balcony. But I mean, they're pressuring the cart now, but they're using Uber onto the cart. Layla takes a pipe, might get out with her life if she runs away. Yeah, she does. So, but they managed to push the cart back down the hill, which is important. So.
Yeah, and I don't think that Envision's going to lose the cart in this position. With only a minute on the clock, I think it takes 45 seconds from the cap to be able to capture last. If I remember correctly, it's something around that sort of 45-second time. So they're really going to be trying to get on the cart right now.
Yeah, Rez managed to push on Wiethoofd as well. He's going to try and deny that cart, but Joe desperately trying to go in underneath the bow, pressured by Rez. So Tusha taking some damage as well. But yeah, 40-second lead said. It's going to be pretty much impossible for them to get last at this point, so it's pretty much playing for the logs. Sentry's up as well, so making it even more difficult. Rambo going to be trying to deny the soldier. Managed to get a Newbie with a decent bomb actually, going into the back lines. Managed to juke out Sting and get the engine. So.
Yeah, there aren't going to be easy games in Prem. These are very good teams. If Feila are going to take the heat off a little bit on their defense, they're going to get punished for it. Yeah, Envision's still a very capable team.
So there we go. That'll be second round. Will actually be going in the favour of Envision after maybe that first round was a warm-up scramble. I'm not sure.
Maybe. Well, that's points for Envision. That's very because Envision are trying not to lose a playoff spot here. Remember, and I think that's a guaranteed 2 points, which makes it much harder for Weedcake sellers to get into playoffs.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure strong opinions. Like, I think even if they 3-3 or whatever versus Factory, I'm pretty sure Envision can get into playoffs as far as I know now. But
Yeah.
so maybe that'll be sort of interesting to see Envision versus Feila again. Whether actually Feila are fully tryharding or not. Like, since they're top in this game, it doesn't mean as much for them. But I mean, you'd expect them to try and make it as hard for any team as possible, or like show what they're capable of. But yeah.
Yeah. Do we have logs for this game? Maybe go have a little look.
Could do. I mean, I'll probably be waiting for someone to go on a break anyway.
Yeah. The Toads there. Look at the difference between Demo Men. I don't know if they're up on stream yet, but the difference between Demo Men is huge there. That's more than double the damage Toad got over Joe. That's massive.
Yeah, I think he's getting focused down as much as he should be, really. Like, they're just like he's walking forwards, but like sometimes he's not even supported, but then they're still getting away. Like, he's still getting away with putting out the damage. It's really strange. But I mean, top frags will go out to Duo and Kaza respectively. Kaza getting like top frags, and then the 4 players beneath him are all Envision players. So it's a lot of pressure coming out from Envision, really. Like I said before, I'm not sure whether it's like tilt or comms, or whether they're just like not as caring about this game. But either way, I'd expect them to sort of put in some effort. I mean, Tertia only died 2 times as well. 11 Ubers for Tertia, 4 Ubers on Layla with 1 drop. So definitely combo differences there.
Yeah, I think Tertia and you they're a team that plays in very much like the Sixes style of if you have Uber, you use it to try and kill the enemy medic, and they were doing a very good job of making sure that Layla, if Feila were too aggressive and they didn't have the Uber to support that, they were losing their medic. So yeah, it was very, very good from Tertia there.
I mean, maybe they'll use it as like a bait round into thinking they've got a chance or something if they want to properly BM this, but and they'll just super try hard now. But I mean, if Envision actually end up winning this round, the next round, then I mean that'll be like a 4 points I think from Envision, so they'll definitely end up in playoffs at that point. So we'll just see if they end up playing again. But yeah, that's just for anyone joining us again. This is week 5 payload upward, best of 3. This is the 3rd round with a 1-1 each piece for Feila versus Envision. So I mean, are you expecting Envision to take this now? They've got some momentum going into this. Or?
I'm not sure. I think that it can go either way. This it depends on a lot of things. I would be expecting to see a crit strat from Layla here if I had, because they're famous for it. Feila, they're going for their sort of crits on offense, especially on this map. So I could see that, and I think that sort of play is very risk reward. So for that reason, it can go either way. Like you can easily hold on to that if you know how to deal with it. You can stop it from working.
Yeah, like the smart teams will, like, when they see a crit, like depending on how far away it is and where their players are, they'll just collapse on the team and they'll just destroy everyone, because I mean ultimately you're not invincible, like you can still be killed, compared to like the Uber where they'll just be trying to push forward and get those medic frags. But if they manage to get some decent sticks off, like from Joe, trusting in their demo, and he's been around a while and a really good demo, so whether they'll end up doing that, we'll have to wait and see. But I mean, got Nipnop with a sort of passive sentry here. The 2 just sort of staring at the playground. It's a pretty standard hold. The Studios coming in now though. All 3 of them coming in, including Vehicle Ox on the fire on the jetpack. Mezzo comes in, manages to get a decent stab onto the sniper in the middle of all the players there, so pretty well played for him. Whether they'll play off that, I don't know.
Demo going down. Detoad's getting picked up by Kazaroff, and Kazaroff's just taking space. But did he die?
Yeah, Duo managed to get him from that spot. So.
That's why that spot's so good. Denies the sniper so hard.
Sod's Law just comes into effect. He's got Duo just sitting up here. I think he's on full punch as well. They're pushing him out. Uber comes out. Sentry hasn't gone down yet, so Red's doing a decent job of actually reflecting some of the spam back. But there are still a few people down. He needs to be careful here. They've only got like 4 people effectively fighting. But the Sentry is going to be hard for them, but Tertia are going to be managing to sort of back off here, I think.
Yeah, I'm really sad not to see the crit strat. I was looking forward to that.
Yeah. Well, you never know, Tromboard might come in a bit later.
maybe, yeah, could happen. Maybe Envision decide that they want to crit. although Wiethoofd going down at that time, I think, was quite bad for the team. I know that it's the done thing to go for the your bomb after, but I think it was a bit late. The Feila were already set up. Usually, the reason that your demo man bombs into second point at that sort of time is because they're not quite equipped to deal with the demo man bombing. But it was a bit late. They were set up.
Yeah, a bit of a feed possibly, but I mean, you've got level 3 set up now. On the second hold for Envision is TF2 taking a lot of spam. Joe's walking, Uber comes out. They don't actually have Uber. TF2 going down really low. Don't think he has Uber, yeah.
Wiethoofd is so weak as well. Nubby got a good bomb onto him. Managed to win. Yeah. I think the reason that Uber had to come out on the Envision side is because of Nubby managing to pressure Wiethoofd out, meaning that Tertio's Uber was, that Feila can pressure the combo much harder because Wiethoofd isn't denying it.
Yeah, but I mean, they still have the level 3 up alive right now with the Stinghound in the back, sort of sniping, but whether they'll actually try and hold this, it'll be interesting to see, because I mean, they've got Tuja and Dito sort of sitting on top now. Joe going down as well, Nubu comes with a big bomb, but just get denied by the sentry down Tuja, so I think Feila maybe getting a bit impatient here, sitting in the bombs when they're like, a bit off-timed, or sort of just into the wrong places. I feel like they should kind of like open up the flanks a bit more than they are, because they're all just peeking the one spot into Stinghound slightly.
This is when Feila tilt. Look at Stingin's just in that position, picking off combo members, making it really difficult. Demo just gets back to them, and then middle goes down. But Mezzo getting the Uber force, I think Tertio tried to pop to save his heavy there, or his demo even. And but then the Uber comes out from blue as well, so.
Yeah, the Ubers has been exchanged very strangely there, but I mean, Tertio with some nice flashes manages to like keep his team alive. Kaza actually, Stinghound, sorry, getting the best of Kaza. Kaza actually only on 2 points right now, they're on the scoreboard, but maybe coming with a bit of a high bomb. Tuja doing a decent job of denying that, and the Stinghound managing to live, just get focused down by Joe. There was the massive aggression comes in. Tuja thinking about going back in, but decides wisely to back out, and I think they're going to go for this third defense.
Yeah, that was very good from Nibby. He managed. He got denied, and he was able to circle back and get the damage onto Stingin that allowed him to get picked off. That was very smart play from Nibby.
Joe is really far forwards though, trying to pressure out Tuja. Getting pressured out really hard. Does go down himself, so no demo right now for this quick sort of offense momentum wise. It's Nibby trying to look for a bomb in, I think. Managing to bomb in onto Tuja, just get that frag, and he does have the better respawn, so he doesn't actually mind trading out there.
Yeah, they've still got the key players for Envision right now, but it's gonna be hard to deny like bombs and stuff right now. Not got their heavy in place. Their scout seems to have lost position. Oh, the scout got picked off by the sniper. Oh my god! Pyro air blast. Yeah, that bar that went. I don't even think you can air straight out of that. And Feila was just completely off the cliff. Layla just completely off the cliff. And there's Nubby dying as well.
Pyro Blisting, and they're still going off. Managed to get the scout on the cart, and Crane managed to clear it up as well. Joe's got alone on the tracks right now. Just managed to get a decent pick onto Crane, though. His teacher just sitting in this sort of balcony.
Kazrock's in shithouse. Kazrock's in shithouse.
Oh god. This might end up badly. Mezzo's trying to peek it as well. It's getting pressured off. I think they're both looking at it now. Hasn't managed to get anything from it though. Middle's trying to pressure up top quite heavily with Joe bombing in. Managed to bomb in, got it weirdly, trying to make him look behind, but Dito's still alive, spamming them out, and they can't really answer them back. Yeah,
the Stinger manages to get a few good picks there and deny, but obviously not enough to stop the cart. Feila is just so unrelenting now. This is when Feila shines in this sort of messy fight. You notice there's even during these transitions, they're so together and coordinated going through under right now.
Yeah, they're going to be only 4 up as well. They need to be careful going in here. Dito's trying to single-handedly hold them off. Managed to get 2. Dito having the plays of his life right now. Mezzo trying to run into him. After seeing if he stays alive, he's actually not getting pressure from anywhere else. As they managed to back out. But Joe going down as well, going to be even worse. Dito's somehow still alive up here with the help of Nightmare, and will actually hold the upper area for his team. And maybe gets forced out underneath as well in a really bad position for Feila. So maybe a bit rushed possibly, but yeah, we're underestimating a Wiethoofd. But yeah, very strange play.
Wiethoofd is one of the best demo men in Highlander right now. He's a really good demo man, and he's making sure that he's respected here. Well, is he? But Joe decides to get off there. That was very close as well.
Yeah, Joe managed to live on 1 health basically, as the sentry is up for Nipnop, sort of in this top area. Joe managed to... Wait, was that Joe? Joe dies, he tries to run for the health pack on 1 health and dies to the level 2. So very unfortunate there. got Newbie trying to jump in, or not Newbie, Duo, sorry, trying to jump in to the window, getting denied by middle, but they'll try and work off this Uber ad, or if they have an Uber ad. No, actually Tertio has more Uber, so you'll be sitting comfortably in this top area.
Yeah, this hold, it can be quite hard to break depending on how much room your sniper has, but Kazarok just manages to pick off Stingin, and it's going to be very difficult. Kazarok's just going to have all this space in upper. You see he's walking around, he's going to be looking straight at the combo member, getting a headshot onto the demo man, forcing him back. Oh, he dies to the spam of middle. Yeah.
Uber comes out though, 2 just kind of underneath trying to face this. Uber comes out in return, actually onto Rez. Viethoofd come down, Heavy goes down 2G, but they're on the cart the whole time. Crayon doing what he should be doing, sorry, Ulker's doing what he should be doing on the cart, so managed to push that in 6:45. So not as fast a time as we've previously seen, so more of a standard time, but yeah, see if what Envision can pull off.
6:45 is still a fast time, but from Feila that felt slow.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
6:45 is crazy fast. Yeah, so it'd be very difficult for Envision. Like I would be shaking a bit trying to get 6:45 against Feila.
Yeah, I mean they've kind of like, I mean they've definitely kind of come together more in their combo. I think they managed to, like, I was surprised Dito managed to hold them off in that last. He definitely bought them like an extra minute and a half just with that play onto the stairs, I think, and they managed to kind of hold in that top area. But after Stingham went down, it was kind of difficult because getting your sniper, having Kaza in that top area, this is very hard to deal with. So managing to sort of pressure them out, cap that cart as well, because the Ubers were going on and like Utka was sat on the cart the whole time. So really well played by him to just focus the objective, and yeah, it's all or nothing now.
Yeah, we'll see. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Tertio's wanting to do the crit strat either, so I'm very upset.
It's a big F in chat for no crits plays today, but got middle sort of aggressive in this stereo. Rambo with an even more interesting, conspicuous sentry spot, actually on the back left playground area, probably getting called out by Nightmare, looking to go for a sap in when they decide to jump in eventually.
Here comes Woe. Yeah. Oh, right onto Layla, but it seems that Nubby actually tanked the damage of those rockets. Gets arrowed straight back up though.
Yeah, imagine to get healed up pretty nicely. Not much damage coming out onto the side of Layla. Crane going down to a nice snipe from Kazarok, and Rambo actually moving his sentry to the rock spot to help Utka defend him.
Yeah, these are some really interesting sentry spots, and they seem to be working for the most part. I mean, sure, you lose your sentry gun there, I guess, so maybe not as well as I thought, but the combo's still alive, they're still aggressive, still the Uber.
Yeah, they should just wait for spawns here really and just try and take this out. 2G's gonna be trying to fight middle here, but I think Mizra's probably have the better health, and Tertio's in the corner. Tertio's actually has to use kind of alone for a second. There's Rez comes in to try and blast them all back, and Dito trying to put out as much damage as possible, but I mean with no sentries it's a bit awkward with the telly.
They should really be thinking of backing out, I think. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe this conch is enough, but no, Tuya just punishing that.
2G just mowing down everyone, just trying to jump into him. When he got this scout, oh, if he'd got that scout, it would have been pretty huge. But yeah, they still had the telly up the whole time, so then maybe they wanted to stay in there with that conch, like you said. But I think they're going to be trying to back out now. Level 2 being sort of stayed in there from Rambo for a second.
Yeah, this is the sort of messy play that you can't have on upward. This is if they don't get this second setup. I don't know. Are they going to come back in? They're very aggressive, Or is this just?
I think they're Crayon? No, tries to go for it, but doesn't manage to get anything out of it. As I think it's going to be 2 of them spotted out. Yeah, very aggressive on this sort of front of the hill here. I think they're mainly just playing off Kazarok and seeing what he can get. But yeah, very strange positioning. Cause, I mean, your med is really open for bombs here. Honestly, like if they decide to do that, they're kind of just relying on middles instead of got a sentry here. Duo trying to get inside as well. Yeah,
but Nubby's even up top. We don't really have anyone in tunnel, which is strange as well. It's like a death ball up top and no one playing tunnel. And as a result, they're getting a lot of cart time here.
Yeah, they're giving away card time because of this, really. Like, there should be this thing. Also, bear in mind that they could always just, like, all go tunnel and come out behind them. Like, that would be a disaster if they managed to get caught in there. But, I mean, they're kind of just relying on the sentry.
And the combo here as well, it looks like the Uber's coming out, forced by the sentry, goes down.
Joe's dead, though, so I mean, they might just be playing off Dito here. As actually, they managed to just slam them. So
Kazarok here is... never mind.
They're going to be sort of fighting in tunnel, and they managed to clean them up, and that's exactly what I thought would happen.
Oh my god. But SMG from Kazarok as well. I wasn't expecting that. Clearly runs it for a reason.
Newbie with his conch is going to be defending this though for a while, so they managed to somehow defend it for a second, but I mean, you got better spawns on the side of the offense and trying to make their way in here. Duo trying to sort of defend them for a second, but I mean, Flank coming in, managing to get the sniper is a pretty good pick.
And that's 3 minutes
no.
already on the two, not even the two of the easiest points. So that's halfway, and they're not halfway through the easy part of the map to push. So it's going to be really hard for Envision.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for them to defend this for a while though, because Feila just went down, so nice bomb in from Duo and Crayon, so they're going to be trying to pressure on this car. Newbie's still dead, Mezzo's now down, so no pressure really from behind. Going to try and pressure this in. Py-bun comes out from Duo, trying to pressure as much as possible, but yeah, I mean, but like you said, with only 3 minutes left, this is looking a bit sketchy.
Yeah, well, it looks like Feila are completely set up. They've got a very aggressive sentry gun here. That seems to be Rambo's sort of strategy for most of these points, is to have like quite an aggressive sentry gun that's maybe not so practiced at dealing with, maybe not so meta. Although Stingin manages to get the pick onto Joe, which will make it really hard to hold onto the sentry gun, and there's obviously the spies in his place, but V-Clocks catches them out.
Yeah, it's a very aggressive sentry from Rambo, and can always just pull it out, which he has just done. And yeah, they need to clear this heavy and this soldier on top as well. If they don't do that, they're going to lose so many people just trying to push the car, and it's going to delay their time even more. As there's only 2 minutes left for them now, so the pressure is definitely on Envision here.
Kazarok as well, he's on Playground, he's got the scout around him, the demo around him. Playground? Roller Coasters, where Kazarok was playing, I was in shithouse. Yeah, these are the players that you need to get out of the way to be able to push this point. Is the demo man and the sniper. Uber comes out.
This is a really early use though from Tertio, so I'm not sure how effective it's going to be. Middle is still on full health as well in this sort of balcony area. You shoot down anyone. I think Envision are possibly in a bit of a panic mode right now, because that's the way they're playing, because you've got some people in, some people out. Mezzo managing to get the best of details as well. Newbie just conches in, holds W on Tertio. Manages to get that med pick for the logs, as Teach is going to be trying to single-handedly push up the car. But yeah, it's looking a bit bad now for Envision.
Yeah, I think that last push is a bit of a nail in the coffin again for Envision. It's very difficult to push up this roller coaster, very, very difficult. And they've not got much time to do it, and Feila are strong. They're very strong where they are. Stingin's managed to get the pick out under V-Clocks, and they've got the scout on the card. But
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Rambo's been impressing me with his engineer play here. Like, he's just constantly been moving around his sentry and like trying to pressure him out with the wrangle. Because I mean, it takes a lot to try and take that down. I mean, they're trying to get pressure now, but Kaz are getting vetoed there. Actually, sort of doing a bit better than he was in the previous rounds, trying to push the car. But 40 seconds left is not going to go very well for them, I don't think.
Yeah, they've still got everyone in this position. The Uber is coming out, denying the car. And Tertio's staying at 80%, nowhere really in the fight. Oh my
just
god.
accidentally jumped into the little gap to his death, so yeah, reclocks.
Stingin getting laid low, but it's all for logs now, really.
Yeah, 20 seconds left. So, yeah, it's going to be sort of pressuring us in any forward right now for the defense, but like I said, it doesn't really matter, so I think Uber's going to be coming out from Tertio into Vito, going to be finally killing this sentry. Never mind, it still lives. Rambo with the wrangle, because the wrangle is very balanced, don't worry. And Tucci going to be trying to pressure in as much as possible with both Pyros holding W. And that is a GG, so that will be a 2-1 win for Feila, week 5 upward. I'm going to be getting them some more points, but they did give away some points, importantly, to Envision, so...
Yeah, they shouldn't be too upset with it. That solidifies their place a little bit more into the playoffs. That's all you could have asked for, really.
Yeah, I mean, they'll be very happy with that either way, I think. I don't think they'll mind at the end of the day, and they'll sort of like try and take that forward, and I think Feila probably very strong right now still. So it'll be interesting seeing like the Envision versus Strong Opinions game, I think, because then it might end up being like Envision versus Feila again, possibly. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But well, let's have a look at the logs, I guess.
Yeah, Kazarok's really dominant in these logs, as you can see. Top frags alongside D-Toad. So you can. We're obviously not. It's not that polarizing, but. Yeah, if you've got your sniper doing a lot of work, it really shows a lot more of the sort of pressure he's putting out, because if he's doing a lot of work, he's also going to be holding sight lines, doing lots of stuff, stopping your team from being very aggressive.
Yeah, I
Very
think
difficult.
standout player, like, I mean, yeah, Kazza doing really well. Newbie getting a lot of damage down and a lot of bombs. Actually, like, and also it's, I think the definite standout player there on that defense, especially, was probably middle. I mean, 18-5 with less damage taken than his jumping in soldier. I mean, that is like, I don't know how he manages to get away with that, whether it's just no one's focusing him or not, but he's just managed to play that really well, managed to get some cleanup damage on from like Joe and V-Clocks and that sort of thing. So really well played by him. But I think overall, yeah, I think it was well played by Envision on that one round. They definitely had a closer fight towards the end, I would say. On that, well, especially the first 2 points on that last round, anyway. But I mean, the third holders ended up being kind of nail in the coffin, like you said before. But yeah, I think the key players that I was expected to do well kind of did well. I mean, Mezzo getting a decent amount of picks as well. But yeah, really impressed by what Stingham was doing as well, because he managed to sort of. I think he actually brought that back into them.
Yeah, he kept his team competitive. If there was a different sniper there, I don't know if Envision would have had as much of a chance. Stinger did a really good job.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was kind of like, especially on the second and the third pushes on that second round, like he definitely helped gain them that really quick time and help them maintain the defense.
Yeah, the medics as well. I'm still very surprised to see Tertia having more Ubers than Layla. On the losing team, having more Ubers is very rare, very rare. So
Yeah,
by 3, I mean, it's not. I guess it's not that much over 3 rounds. But yeah.
Yeah, it all adds up really, though, I think, and like it really just depends where the Ubers are going at the end of the day. Because I mean, you could argue that Layla's Ubers were like, I think a lot of them with Newbie's conch, and they managed to get a lot of space with it. And sometimes Layla would die, but the reason she would die is because the whole rest of the team was aggressive. But that's like the risk reward factor, I suppose, of that, and ended up coming out in Feila's favor at the end of the day. So there we go.